The assembly of a frame can be done in many ways, depending on the layout of the shop and the staff available to do the work. In any case, there is merit to establishing and following a consistent process for routine orders, unless there's some reason to do otherwise. Here's a typical sequence of processing. First, check to be sure that the correct materials are on hand and in good condition. Do this as soon as possible after taking in the order and after receiving ordered materials. So, if there are any problems, you may have time to reorder and receive the materials before they're needed for assembly of the framing. Generally, it's a good idea to assemble the framing package from the inside outward. That is, begin with mounting of the artwork, because this determines the dimensions for the outer frame parts. If dimensional calculations have to be changed for any reason, you'll want to know about it before processing the other framing components. Next, cut the mats and apply the decorative features, if any. Doing this work early in the assembly process allows time for applied paints and inks to dry thoroughly. Assemble the matting and mounted art. After assembling the art and matting, cut the glass or acrylic and install spacers if needed. This completes the frame package that will be inserted into the frame. Keep it clean and safe while you do the dirty work of cutting and joining the frame molding. Finally, place the frame package into the frame and complete the fitting and finishing, including labeling. The shop's identification label is essential, but other information may be included on the back of the frame as well. For example, if a special hanging system is installed, hanging instructions might be helpful to the customer. If the framing includes special features, such as preservation mounting or UV filtering glass, a listing of those features on the back of the frame may be useful for making repairs or upgrades in the future. Now, let's talk about organizing production. For a small frame shop, where one or two people build only one or a few frames per day, the sequence of the production process may not make much difference. But for a busy frame shop, where several people are building a number of frames per day, the sequence of production may be very important to the efficiency of the shop. Look at it as a matter of choreography, making sure everyone is in the right place at the right time and not interfering with one another. In any case, production batching may improve efficiency of the shop. No matter how many framers are working together, batching makes the best use of time to set up and clean up workstations. That is, if a framer has to build 3 frames on a given day, there would be benefits to doing all of the mounting in one stage, then cutting all the framing, then the matting, then cutting and joining all of the frames, and then doing all of the fitting and finishing. Production batching works especially well in larger shops, where the work can be delegated to framers who are specially trained in certain tasks. Production batching places each framer in a limited area of the shop, which minimizes distractions and time wasted in going from one task to another. Production batching can have some disadvantages too. Doing the same task repeatedly could become monotonous or boring. For framers who enjoy variety in their work, it may be better to build a frame from start to finish before moving on to other tasks. Sometimes the continuity of production batching can be inconvenient if assembly needs to accommodate special features. For example, it may be best to assemble a frame of multiple frame elements stacked together and then measure the total depth of the frame package before cutting spacers. The point is, what works best in one production situation might not work best in another. The best course of action is to learn and try out the alternative production methods, then choose what works best for each project in your particular shop. Inventory management is important to the efficiency of any business that uses materials, including a frame shop. It may be possible to operate a frame shop with little or no inventory if all of the materials could be specially ordered for each incoming project, but that would not be an efficient use of time or money. Of course, many items should be specially ordered, but for the materials we use routinely, such as everyday adhesives, hardware items, glazing products, and mounting materials, it's better to keep a supply on hand and replenish our stock before we run out. With so many different moldings and mat boards available, the inventory of these materials must be limited and should be chosen according to the needs of each unique business. In any case, here are some suggestions to help manage inventory. A typical frame shop's inventory investment should turn over about 4 to 6 times per year. To put it another way, for each 100,000 euros or dollars of annual material cost, including shipping, also known as cost of goods sold, plan to keep about 17,000 to 25,000 euros or dollars in total inventory value. This is an approximation based on typical labor rates and overhead, and where the cost of material for a framing job is about 17 to 22% of the selling price. Because sales of particular items are difficult to predict, most frame shops accumulate excess inventory. When the inventory goes too high, get rid of the excess. Also, even when inventory value is within the investment you've planned, some items just don't sell. It's important to get rid of this dead inventory too, because that money can be used more efficiently in other ways. Excess and dead inventory drain profits. Profitability is always important, but in this case, the first priority is to recover the money buried in excess and dead inventory. In order to purge excess or dead inventory, consider offering special promotions or sale prices featuring those items specifically. Also, excess and dead inventory can be converted into saleable products by applying some labor, such as ready-made frames, decorative jewelry boxes, and document frames. Rather than stocking nearly duplicate items of mat board, glass, and other materials, reduce the inventory to include only the best choices. By reducing stock of similar items, that money can be invested in more diverse, useful inventory, or it can become profit. Inventory management also includes streamlining the labor aspects of keeping inventory. That is, organize the inventory to minimize handling. Keep everything in conspicuous places and clearly identified. Avoid misplacing items where they might be forgotten or difficult to find when you need them. Also, take care to keep your inventory properly stored, clean, and dry. For example, avoid storing length molding in such a way that it becomes scratched or warped. Mat board should be kept clean, dry, and flat in storage, either vertically or horizontally. Of course, the layout of a frame shop is limited by its size and shape, but here are some suggestions to make the layout as efficient as possible. Set up related workstations adjacent to one another. For example, the molding storage, cutting tools, and joining tools should be in the same area. Likewise, mat board storage should be near the mat cutting equipment. Mounting boards and adhesives should be near the mounting press, and so on. Keep hand tools and materials near the workstations where they're generally used. Segregate the dusty, dirty tasks, such as cutting and joining moldings, away from the clean tasks, such as mounting and matting. Glass cutting should be also segregated, too, because a tiny shard of glass can do a lot of damage in the wrong place. Arrange the flow of work from one task to the next. Typically, this goes from one end of the shop to the other. The dirty end of the shop may be near the back door, where the materials are delivered, unpacked, and checked in. The clean end of the shop may be at the front, near storage of the customer's property and near the customer service gallery. This drawing shows an efficient layout for a shop of about 135 square meters or 1,450 square feet. The dirty end of the shop is at the back, on the left side of this image. The clean end of the shop is at the front, on the right side of the image, near the customer service entrance of the gallery, which is not shown. Partial wall between the press table and the wall cutter minimizes the flow of dust from the back to the front. Walking space between workstations is minimized, but at least 3 framers could work in this shop without interference. Proper maintenance and good housekeeping are essential to efficient operations. There should be a place for everything, and everything should be kept in its place. Workstations should be clean and uncluttered. Tools and equipment should be in good working order, with routine cleaning, adjustments, and lubrication. These may seem like common sense procedures, but unless a plan is written and followed, it would be easy to neglect these responsibilities. Everyone in the shop should be aware of his or her housekeeping and maintenance duties, and the manager should monitor performance daily. Whatever the size of your framing business, it's much easier to work efficiently in an uncluttered shop with good maintenance and housekeeping. Because everything in a frame shop depends on the people doing the work, employee relations and motivation directly affect efficiency. The frame shop owner or manager should develop and document the policies that apply to employees. One-to-one communication is still the key to good employee relations, but providing a handbook to employees assures that they are informed about the rules of employment. For example, employees need to know and understand their work schedules, how to record hours worked, and the allowed intervals and duration of breaks and lunch, vacations, and other time off. All of these topics are essential to good employee relations and efficient, coordinated work in the shop. The employee handbook should also cover such topics as a dress code, expected good behavior, disciplinary procedures, and safety rules. A training manual can be established to make sure that each employee receives the training necessary to perform assigned tasks. Cross-training can reveal hidden talents and discover new work interests, which enables and encourages each employee to do the best work possible. All of these topics are essential to improving efficiency in the frame shop. The frame shop manager can have a direct impact on employee relations and work efficiency. For example, praise publicly, but criticize privately. Establish daily routines and avoid unexpected disruptions to the work. Keep employees motivated by making their work more interesting at every opportunity. These ideas are offered to help improve efficiency. Some of them might result in great improvements for your shop, and some may not help at all. Perhaps you can modify some of these concepts or build upon them to your shop's advantage. Improving efficiency is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing process. Practice makes perfect. So, look for opportunities to improve your shop's efficiency every day.